over from where I would be comfortable even thinking about purchasing it. So let's see. The title is The Cat.
We are live. We're
Yeah,
live.
Here
we go.
Cat and Dan Show. And I'm just getting logged into Facebook here so we can stream on Facebook. All things real estate.
Oh, and boy, we have
and sparkly. We have a sparkly topic today.
Yes, we do.
No, you don't know about it yet.
I don't?
No, I haven't told you about it.
Oh.
I have something sparkly I want to share with you guys. It's my new favorite find. I got to tell you, I do love a new favorite find. So I'm going to share that with you guys today. It has nothing to do with real estate. Has time to do with relaxation and parties. And there's an upcoming party, right? New Year's Eve. So this is a totally appropriate time to bring up sparkly things. So
yes, that's right.
Anyway, okay, save changes. Okay, I don't know what happened there, but it looked like it changed the name of my show. I'm going to see if I can get my lighting a little better with you. Turn myself here. I don't know if that got any better or not. Maybe a little bit. I look grainy. Am I not the good 1080? Oh, it's not going to let me go back and change myself. I don't want to take myself out of your show. Okay.
No, it's your show. Yeah.
Hi, guys. Hi, TikTokers. Hey, Kat Howard here with Windermere in Woodinville, Washington, and we are talking all things real estate, lending, and sparkly things. Thanks for joining. Looking forward to sharing what is happening in the real estate market over the past couple of weeks. Snohomish County is absolutely killing it out there. If you are a seller in Snohomish County, you are happy, happy, happy if you've been on the market the last couple of weeks. Unless you missed your 0 to 14 day time frame where you have to get sold or things get very dark. But for the first 2 weeks on the market, it's a very bright spot in Snohomish County. King County, the close second. King County was beating the socks off of Snohomish. Not that it's a competition, but for some reason, I just feel like it is because they're neighboring counties. And, King County is always more expensive, but sometimes Snohomish County has the rockin' real estate market. So I love that, right? Yeah. So, I like a hot market for sellers. For buyers, I really love it when it slows down a tad. We haven't seen a lot of that, but we saw a little bit of that. When interest rates, Dan, say it, when interest rate topped 8%, things they cooled significantly. And if you were a buyer and you jumped in the market at that moment, you could refinance your loan later, but because you would have gotten a good deal because sellers were crediting buyers significantly, especially new construction. Now, not so much. I don't think we're seeing much more of that. So I think the heydays for buyers is coming to a close. So unfortunately, it looks like we're going to be seeing more multiple offers.
On the bright side, the stock market is way up, so they can sell some stock, and they can add that to their offers.
Maybe to their down payment.
I was thinking to their offers, but when things get
to the top of the offer, right? This is so you guys can escalate. That's what Dan's talking about. I haven't gotten to escalating yet, but we're getting there. It's coming in January. So I'm sure there's been a little escalating in December, but we'll definitely start to see it again in January.
This is the smart ass in me coming out, so sorry about that.
Oh, you're quite okay. You guys like my Christmas tree?
Okay, so first off, you want to go over the month supply of inventory and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, can you give us kind of a hint as to where interest rates are?
Or do you want to go with the interest rates? Either way.
Let's start with interest rates, Dan.
I'm for both. Okay, so let's just start with the 10-year Treasury because it kind of shows you a flavor of which direction rates are going, and they're going down, and they broke to a new low again this afternoon at the close. And
how long a time span is that?
That is a time frame that goes back to late October. It goes back to the actual peak in interest rates, and it's a 15-minute bar chart. So it's real short term. You can see what things are doing every day. And the reason I like that, hang on here, let me Okay. So the reason I like it is that you can kind of see how things are going intraday, and you could see at the end of the day today, rates just kept going down. They kept going down. So it's an
Nice.
yeah, it's an interesting situation, and you saw it reflected in some of the lenders at the end of the day. They were having pricing improvements. In fact, some of the lenders are having like two pricing improvements.
Wow.
So
Amazing.
yeah, I'm not going to get overly excited about it because some lenders, they do their pricing improvements a little differently. Some will just send it out when they really need to, and others, the smaller ones, will send out these pricing improvements like every 15 or 20 minutes as the market's moving.
That doesn't get confusing for buyers at all.
No, no, no. But it's true. The smaller ones tend to do their price improvements more often. But anyway, to make a long story short, let's go to where the rates are, because I actually looked them up before our show.
Oh, look at you being all doing your due diligence, Dan.
There we go. Look at that.
Didn't
Look
get
at
you
that.
sleeping at the wheel today, did we?
Well, I was snoozing during the day, but I wasn't snoozing before our show. I came and sprang to life.
Oh no, I'm dark again. Hold on, I gotta get myself light again. Let's see if that works. Let's see if that works. I look great. I mean, I don't look great on TikTok, but I mean, I look well lit on TikTok, and I don't know what I don't know what they're using to do that, but I don't look like on Facebook. I think I look dark. I mean, no light. That's what I mean. There's no light.
Well, I give TikTok credit. They know their filters better than anyone.
So, they do.
They're really good. Anyway, so realistically speaking, I'm looking at these rates right now.
Yeah.
And 5.625 on an FHA.
The FHA?
FHA, that's at par, so you're not paying any points or anything.
No points.
No points.
Wow.
Just regular old, plug it into the pricing engine, and there you go.
No kidding.
Yes.
5.625, you guys. I gotta tell you, music to my ears. For sellers and buyers. I mean, you're going to get a better interest rate now. So if you jump out there before prices go up, you got a window. It's a very narrow window before everybody catches on that, interest rates are down and prices are going to start to go up, because the market really picked up the last couple of weeks, as we'll go over here in just a minute. And but Dan, what else you got? So FHA.
Realize that I do take the Mother Teresa vow of poverty, and so not all rates at all lenders might be the same as mine.
You're not all born equal.
Not all born equal. So
because Dan takes a vow of poverty.
Yes, vow of poverty.
So he gives all my clients some good rates.
I've been adhering to it this year.
He will stay in the poorhouse.
Yeah. I've been insured.
Absolutely.
I don't do that. Okay, so let's see. Going over conventional, look at that difference. Conventional 6.625. FHA 5.6.
That's still a great rate.
Still a terrific rate. But
I mean, my client spent $30,000 a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, buying that down.
Yeah,
They I think we closed like the beginning of November, and he locked like end of October probably.
Oh, he got in at the peak.
Like at the very highest.
At the peak. Yes. Congratulations. Well, you do what you got to do. What can I say?
Well, he had to, he wanted that home. Hey, listen, we'd looked for houses for a couple of years for him, and this was the perfect house. Maggie, his wife, is just over the moon. They've since referred me their pastor, and so I've had a chat with her. But that house, they bought that house fully staged. I mean, they got a good value. They paid like $15,000 more than the other people paid like 2 years ago. They did fine. Even though they got, they had to buy their interest rate down, and they bought it down permanently. But they ended up, probably 6 and something,
Yeah.
So I think they did fine.
And when they moved into that house, if I remember correctly, there was the furniture came along with it, right?
All the staging. And
Wow.
it was packed. It was packed with furniture, furnishings, art on the walls, so much art on the walls, and really a lot of really cool stuff. There was some really striking pieces that Maggie and I both wanted. She bought them, so she got them. But I liked, there was a couple pieces of art that I would have put in my own house here in Clearview, and I would have loved it.
Well, I'm sure I would have put it in my house too. It would have taken down the Three Stooges poster to make room for it.
You know, I can't keep myself lit.
I got to tell you, these two phenomenon that we're about to talk about. First off, the rates coming down like they have, and now let's go into your area because this is really incredible. We're talking middle of December. These stats come from.
Yes.
This is going to blow people away, and I'm going to start with Snohomish County month supply of inventory. Let's just blow up the screen here a little bit. And let that sink in. Let that marinate.
I'll tell you what the month supply of inventory for Snohomish County is. You guys, you're not going to believe this. It's 0.8 months. That is the lowest level since May. And that's incredible. And also 50% of sellers got under contract. If they listed between December 10th and December 16th, 50% got under contract within the first 7 days. Those are spring numbers. In mid-December. It is a hot market for new listings coming on the market. So now anybody who's missed their 14 days, you may sit there. You're going to have to probably do price reductions because maybe you missed the mark a little bit or the house wasn't quite exactly what that pool of buyers was looking for. But if you make it within that first 14 days, there's a good chance you're getting at least full price and you're going to get off the market. 61% of sellers got off the market within the first 14 days if they listed between November 26th and December 9th. Now that's the tail end of the Thanksgiving weekend into the first couple, over a week of December. And we got 61% of you guys getting under contract within 14 days. That's incredible. I mean, the bigger number is the 50% within 7 days. And that was very recent. That was just the December 10th through the 16th data. So
I got a question for you on this subject. Okay. So let's just say you're one of those sellers that's, for whatever reason, things went kind of off the rails, right? You didn't get the house sold in the first 7 days, first 14 days, even the first 30 days. You've now got some aging fruit that's sitting on the market, right? And so my question to you, because it is the end of December and things are probably going to continue to tighten moving forward. I mean, I'm not making that stuff up. Probably is.
No. I can tell you more information that will verify that, but yes.
Okay. So would you, in that situation, this exact situation, would you do a price reduction now or take the home off the market and bring it back, say in whenever you could bring it back, maybe in a month or two? Which would you do?
Yeah. You would not want to take it off the market. And the reason you would not want to take it off the market is the only people looking right now are people that absolutely have to have a home. There's not any looky-loos out there looking during the holidays, and homes sell during the holidays. Quite obviously, the weeks around Thanksgiving and the week leading up to Christmas, those have been great weeks. And for the new sellers coming on the market. So for the people that have been on the market a little while, you still should stay on the market. It's a mistake to go off the market and then come back on mid-January, because that's kind of what the pack does, or it's kind of a rule of thumb. If you don't want to be on the market during the holidays, you go off the market right before Thanksgiving, which I know specific listings that have done that. And they will come back on probably mid-January. And so, yes, the buyer pool does pick up mid-January, but at the same time, you might have gotten a really good price for your house during the holidays. So, But there's some people that don't want their holidays interrupted. I get that. I mean, you got a tree up, you got a mantle decorated, you got fires going in the fireplace, your kids coming and going, family members, people with presents, you've got presents under the tree, pets and kids and stuff. So most people don't really want their holidays interrupted, but if you're a tough nut, you can handle it. It's not a bad idea to go ahead and leave your home on the market. One strategy would be to do that. The other strategy would be to pull it off. at this point, so this is the deal, guys, because this is not your normal real estate market anymore. So we have been dealing for such a time with multiple offers, extremely short periods of time on the market, watching every new listing like a hawk that comes on. And buyers have been in that mode. We've been conditioned over the past 5 years or more that we're only looking at the new listings coming on the market. That's how this works. We're expecting, as buyers and buyers agents, that listing is not going to last more than 7 days, and we're anticipating potentially a multiple offer situation. And so that's the new norm. So normally as a realtor, because I've been doing this for, since the beginning of time, and, back in the day, I would never counsel my sellers, hey, listen, we should try to get off the market within the first 7 days. To me, that, as a long-time realtor, that sounds kind of ludicrous. But when you have a market where the buyers are expecting the homes, the good ones, to get off the market within the first 7 days, because that's the type of market we've been in for so long, that's what buyers expect. So when they see a house that's been on the market more than 14 days, they're like, there's something wrong with it. Why is it still on the market? Honey, it's been on the market 28 days. Why would we go take a look at it? Even if they reduce price $50,000, so it's not that there's something wrong with the home still on the market, but just for some reason, that particular pool of buyers did not feel like that was better priced and a more appealing home than the other homes that were on the market that particular time frame. So you can miss that 14 days, still be a good realtor, still be a good seller, still have done everything right. But it does make it tougher to get sold without doing some type of a price reduction. If you are very confident that you are priced well and you do not see other listings coming on the market with brand new quartz countertops, that's the same size home, with brand new flooring, all the modern flooring, and you don't have all the modern flooring, as long as that isn't happening to you and they're not, and they're not coming on the market for less than you are, then you might just need to sit it out for a couple of weeks, because there's not that many buyers out there right now. There's just more buyers than new listings coming on the market. That's the fact, right? So, I could tell you exact numbers. Let's see here. Why don't I just do that? Let me whip out my new stats book. So let's see what we got, Dan. So for instance, for this last week, the last 7 days, and this I pulled the data Christmas Eve, so this is it's a couple days old. There were in Snohomish County, only 23 homes were listed, to be fair. And I got to tell you, during that same time frame, 81 went pending. Yeah.
Wow. Oh.
So what does that tell you for the next data that I pulled on Monday or Sunday? It tells you that our MSI is going to be lower yet, because we had so many more people buy homes than new listings come on the market. And that's also why we can get like 50% of homes getting under contract within the first 7 days, because all those 80 buyers, they were all looking at all the new listings, right? So some of them picked the new listings and some of them went with ones that were not new listings and probably got a bit more of a deal. So
I've got a question for you,
now, right?
Hey, Kat, I've got a question for you. And I'm sorry, this is a bit of a zinger. We didn't talk about this.
You trying to zing me?
Well, not too much, but a little bit, not too much. But I do have a question for you. Let's say you're one of these home sellers that has they're more than 30 days. You're a little despondent, a little, you got some anxiety running through the family right now.
Realtors getting uncomfortable.
Realtors maybe a little bit on the hot seat right now. You never know.
Sellers saying, what's wrong? What did I do wrong? What are we doing wrong? What'd you do wrong?
or the sellers.
What should we do now to make it right?
Sellers will point the finger at anybody but themselves sometimes, and usually the realtor's the first person that gets their finger pointed at.
Yeah, that's right.
I hate to put it that way, but it's probably true. And my question is, if you have some of those sellers that are out there, a lot of anxiety, they've gone over 30 days, they just get the feeling something's wrong, right? Something's not going right because we haven't sold the house yet. And you look at these numbers and everybody's selling their house in real short order except for us, right?
Yep.
do you ever consult with those? I mean, like if somebody asks, then they say,
So
"Hey,
do you
Kat,"
want to know, what I advise other agents when they come to me and say, this is happening to me right now, like happened to me this past week?
right?
You want to know
Well,
what I do?
yeah, I would. Yeah.
Okay. So what I tell them, and the same thing I told my daughter about 2 weeks ago, is when you have a house that's sitting on the market for more than a couple of weeks in a market where, let's say 30 to 50% of the homes are getting sold within the first 7 to 10 days on the market, right? So pretty good market, but not necessarily like a spring market. So even this fall, we had, even Kitsap County, I think, had 25-28% of homes getting under contract within the first 7 days. So it's still a fairly decent market. And she had a really nice listing over there that she couldn't get sold either. And then a girlfriend in my office just had one this past week where they were stuck at about 30 days. And I had consulted with her a little bit on pricing. I did not look at the comps, but we had looked at the pricing and looked at Case-Shiller. And that pricing conversion calculator, and plugged everything in there, and it had her a little higher than where she went on the market. But I said, gosh, that data is 2 months old. You have to consider what's happened in the last 2 months. You know where I'm going with this. They decided to start right under the Case-Shiller price point of, I think they were at like 902 or 907, somewhere in there. So you probably can't start at 9. You probably can't, because we probably had a little more depreciation since September, right? That's reflecting August data. I mean, August negotiations. So it's, almost like 3 months behind. And so as much as I love Case-Shiller, it's good to a point, but then you have to calculate what's happened since their data. And because otherwise it's awfully accurate. It's really, really a good tool as a baseline. But anyway, so this is what I tell them to do. Go look at what sold since you've been on the market. Look at every house within 2 or 3 miles radius, not 10, just a couple mile radius of where you're at, where your property's located, and see what homes sold and for where they were priced. And you can tell, do you look overpriced compared to all those houses that sold? The answer is yes, you're overpriced. And it's always very obvious.
Right.
It's always very obvious. There are other times when there are just niches in the market where there just isn't anybody at that price point at that moment in time. And then you hold tight if you are very confident in your pricing. My daughter had a brand new manufactured on a nice little quarter or half acre lot over there, nice flat lot over there in Kingston. And there was nothing wrong with it. I mean, he'd done a lot of extra things. He'd fenced it, and it was a really big lot. So that cost him a pretty penny. He did a really nice driveway. There was no way to get a garage in there. So that's something that a buyer would have to contend with. But other than that, there was absolutely no reason for this new manufacturer to not sell. And he did these all the time. So he's a flipper for manufactured homes is what he does. So he, buys a piece of land and then puts on a new manufactured and sells it. And then,
Wow. Honestly, I've not heard of a flipper for manufactured home. That's pretty.
Yeah. No, it's
cool.
it's a thing. It's a thing in Kitsap County.
Okay.
It is. And it's a way to make it a reasonable living.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
So but that's my advice. And that's what I do, you guys. If I have a house that's still on the market after 7 days, and that's happened to me a few times over the past couple of years, I look at what did sell. What did sell that first week? And are we missing the mark? Did we miss the mark? Most of the time, it's just buyers that are nervous and not ready to compete. So they didn't want to, make an offer on the offer review date. And so they'll often come back around that second weekend you're on the market. And sometimes you'll generate multiple offers. It's happened to me before like that. But I always just double check and make sure somehow I didn't miss the mark, because I'm always looking at the newest listings that come on the market right before I go on the market with my listing to make sure that I'm priced in the pack and I don't stand out too low or too high. You want to be where you're supposed to be. You want to be, because you want the buyers comparing apples to apples. And if you've got the best package, you're going to win that. So if you're the best staged, you have the best inherent features, like maybe your lot's more level. Maybe you've got a longer driveway for more parking,
no front door.
Or, a black front door, just saying.
Black front door, yes.
$6,500 for that puppy.
Oh, well, I was curious. Hey, let's move over to King County real quick, if you don't mind.
Well,
Okay?
did I finish? I did finish. Did I finish Snohomish County? I did. I think I said, the thing I didn't mention about Snohomish County is 17% of sellers set offer review dates, but 50% got under contract. So in Snohomish County, it's not a bad idea to set an offer review date because half of those got under contract within the first 7 days. Now, some of those might not have gone under contract had they had an offer review date, but it's a pretty hot market. So you got 81 buyers vying for the same, what is it? I can't remember how many homes came on the market exactly that 1 week that we were talking about, the 10th through the 16th. I can tell you. we had so 90 were listed the week of December 10th through December 16th. So 45 of those went under contract. So it would have been fairly reasonable to set an offer review date for Snohomish County into December. You just have to be careful because you can run off some buyers that way. And if there's a lot of sellers not setting offer review dates, buyers are going to look at those houses generally first if there's something out there that looks just as good as the shiny object that's got this offer review date. So sellers have to be mindful that you can run off buyers that way. Right. So buyers aren't expecting that into December. They're not expecting offer review dates. Right. So, it's almost kind of better to go with the season and say, yeah, maybe we shouldn't set an offer review date. And then you can always set one later. Right. So let's say you get run over, getting run over now would be 9 or 10 showings in 2 days. Right. That used to not be the case. But getting good turnout right now would be getting 9 or 10 showings Thursday, Friday, and maybe having 4 or 5 on Saturday. And then feedback, everybody asking for the inspection and, Form 17. Then that you've got a lot of interest out there. And so at that point on Saturday, if you still don't have an offer, or if you've got one coming in, you can have your conversation with your seller and say, listen, I think there's a possibility that we may get more than one offer. We could set an offer review date for Sunday or Monday so that everybody who's been in the house has an opportunity to make up their mind whether they would like to submit an offer or not, especially if you've already had an inspection. If you haven't had an inspection, offer review dates are not that useful unless you think you're going to get a buyer to waive the inspection. So, which you don't really want that. You want an inspection done one way or the other. So,
well, maybe
that's Cat Howard's brain for you. That's how I would handle it.
I'm just saying maybe there weren't that many offer review dates set because maybe folks
the holidays
weren't expecting going into the holidays that things would be maybe this tight. And
they were not expecting it. I guarantee you they were not expecting it. And it was shocking to me to pull the data, but it's in black and white. And that's why I love my stats, Dan, because it's in black and white. You can't dispute black and white.
The data don't lie.
The data don't lie. It's a great market for sellers in Snohomish County. I kid you not. It really, really is. Anyway.
It is. And King is not far behind. You want to go to King County right now?
So King County, their month supply of inventory has been going down as well. We're down to 1.2 months in King County. Now, that's quite a bit more than Snohomish County, but that's still a very good market for December in King County. And they've been kicking ass. To be fair, I can't remember exactly what they're up on the year. I could look, but they're up really good on the year. Snohomish County is up 16%. The median and average sales price is up 16%. November back to January, from January 2023, 16%.
Wow.
What? This is a year of increasing interest rates. How is that possible? We did tank last year, to be fair. In the middle of the year, we started tanking. But right. but to come back up 16%, we didn't make up all of what we lost, last year. At the very highs, I think we're still a tad higher than we are now. But dang it, we're darn close, and 16% in 1 year is a lot. And we didn't really see the comeback this fall because, like you said, the highs in October of the interest rates over 8%, tamped down activity for a moment.
Right.
And then all bets were all when the interest rates started coming down, then we were off to the races. So MSI has been coming down since then in most counties. So King County, 1.2 months supply of inventory. see, 12% of sellers set offer review date. So again, sellers are in the holiday spirit, not really wanting to put buyers off. So 12% set offer review dates, which that's probably fine this time of year. There's just not enough buyers. You don't want to risk running one or two of them off because you set an offer review date. So it's probably not a bad idea. But 48% of sellers did get under contract within the first 7 days on the market if they listed between December, what did I say? December 10th through December 16th. so 48%. That's a huge number too, right? I mean,
take a look at the screen. Look at those graphics on the banner. Oh, it's so impressive.
Oh, that's amazing, Dan. You an artist, I mean, what are we going to do with you? You're a talent.
I'm good at yes.
Oh my God, I'm getting like half an hour into my live and I'm getting hot. I have to start throwing open doors and stuff.
It's all there is. I'll tell you what it is. It's all these stats. They're very exciting.
Very exciting, guys. So, and then, for King County, 49% of sellers got under contract within the first 14 days on the market if they listed between November 26th and December 9th. I get that right? Yeah, I got that right. Anyway, and let me see. So King County, it's not in the stats, but where's it at? What's right here? Hold on. Let me tell you how much King County is at. I think I did that stat. I didn't pull Thurston yet, though, Dan. Somebody else asked me about Thurston County yesterday. I'm going to have to pull Thurston County. Let's see.
Oh, yes, Thurston County. I know
Thurston County is on my mind. Yes. Okay, let me see. I just want to see. I have all these statistics for that new construction. Oh, my God. Pages. Get back to where I pulled. So Mason, Mason's up. Oh, yeah, they're up 9.3%. Wow. Let's see. King County.
Mr. Fat Tuesday giving you a piece of his mind.
Mr. Fat Tuesday's in the house.
He's chiming in.
He is. Let's see. Did I not do King? Because I don't have it there. Let's see here. Here's Mason Kicks Up Skagit. Mason was a shocker.
What was shocking about Mason?
Oh, they're up on average 9.3% for the year.
Wow.
Yeah, they're way up for the year, considering they have a slower market. 9.3%. Median sales price is up 9.3%. Average sales price in Mason County is up 5.1%. Really good numbers for Mason County, being a little bit further out there, lower population, less activity. So those are pretty strong numbers. Pretty strong numbers for Mason. And let's see, what's this one? That's just October. That's October, November. Sorry, I got a lot of extra stats in here because I was analyzing all that new construction. That has occupied a lot of pages.
Yes.
Let's see.
We have a vested interest in new construction right now.
We do. We have a vested interest. We sure do. And we're not really don't really discriminate by county. Could be anywhere. We don't care. We just like new construction, especially if we're going to list it.
But we got to keep an eye on that Kitsap County new construction.
Kitsap County. They got some stuff going on over there.
Stuff going on over there in Kitsap.
Yeah. There's a few things going on in Snohomish. There's a little new construction in Snohomish, Marysville, Sultan, a little bit up towards Gold Bar and Lake Stevens, tiny bit in Stanwood. Stanwood has a little bit north Stanwood, a little bit of new construction. There's a couple of new constructions in Warm Beach that are, I believe they're right at $1 million or just under $1 million. And those ones have been sitting there. They have like amazing views. And I'm kind of surprised they're still sitting there. So those ones should sell. Warm Beach, great views. Just saying. Let's see, where else did I see some fabulous? I saw a couple fabulous new constructions in Bremerton, of all places. They're down there. They're almost right on the water. They're in a community that's on the water, and I don't think that there's really water views. If there are views, it's kind of peekaboo. but they're pretty fabulous. They are 3 stacks, which is not my favorite floor plan. At the same time, for people that really like to do stairs and want to get their steps in, there you go. But that does put your main living floor on that second level, so you do get better views and more privacy, right? Because you're off the ground. And then you've got that third floor, so you've got three levels. And I believe on that particular those units, I'm trying to remember the name of the street on that one. That main floor had all your living area, and also the primary was there as well. And that is a floor plan that I do like, because then all your living area for the primary homeowner could be on that one floor. So once you get up that one level, then you live on that one level. You don't have to go up to the third level or go back down to the first level, because I believe even laundry was on that one floor. So that's a floor plan that I think is quite older homeowner friendly. Not that I want to call myself older, not doing that. But if I was.
Well, while you're discussing this, I'm going to take a nap. No, I'm just joking. Anyway.
Sorry, I'm boring you guys. Okay.
No.
King County, 49%. I think I said this, 49% of sellers got under contract within the first 14 days on the market if they listed between November 26th and December 9th. So now we can move on, because I'm boring Dan.
No.
I've been out there looking at all this new construction. I got clients at Camino looking at new construction on Camino, and and everywhere in between, Snohomish to Camino and north, and then I got, other people looking over in Kitsap, and then I got other people looking West Seattle and Renton, kind of down in that area, North Seattle, new construction and resale. So, I've just been in a lot of new construction lately. So I like the rooftop decks, I will say that, but I'm not a fan of heights, so I have to stay way back. And I find it very comforting if it's got like a solid glass rail that's tall.
Right. Yeah.
I'm going to be putting Dan to sleep. Okay.
No, I'm listening. Pierce, how about Pierce?
Let's do Pierce County.
I've been so excited about Pierce. Look at those numbers.
I know it's one of your favorite places, Dan. Okay. 1.5 months supply of inventory in Pierce County. So they, but I think that's come down a tad from where it was. I think things have picked up a little bit in Pierce County.
It has tightened up.
9% of sellers set offer review dates. But 32% of sellers got under contract within the first 7 days on the market if they listed between December 10th and December 16th. 32% is a good number in December. It is. It's a good number. Yeah. And 41% of sellers in Pierce County got under contract within the first 14 days on the market if they listed between November 26th and December 9th. So again, Pierce County with some strong numbers. I will tell you, I did additional ran some additional numbers on Pierce County because I just did a market analysis actually, if you have to know, it was on Christmas Day, because I celebrated Christmas a couple days early with my family. So I was doing a market analysis on property in Pierce County, and they actually have appreciated 9% since January. So they've had pretty good appreciation. They're still off of last year's highs as well, just a tad. But they've come up 9% this year. So again, Mason County, same thing. 9% on the year.
Wow.
Well, listen, when I think about appreciation for my own properties or my clients' properties, and I'm thinking 9 or 10%, I get really happy, as an investor or as a homeowner or as a representative to a client that you sold them that house and they're getting 9 or 10%. That gives me joy, because I know that they're building equity, and that's why one of the reasons you buy a home to start with is to build equity, right?
That's right.
That's the right answer, right, Dan?
Yes, that's the right answer.
So it does make me happy when I see, people in different counties getting a decent appreciation. I don't want to see us outpriced for our area. That I don't want to see is that numbers get so high, the home prices get so high that actually buyers can't afford to buy. And I kind of do feel like we're at that point too. So it's a mixed bag at this point. So, all right. So, and I think I said 41% got under contract with them. Okay. Then we have Mason County. So Mason County, 3.5 months supply of inventory. Nobody set an offer review date. That's smart. because only 14% of sellers got under contract within the first 7 days on the market, and that's if they got listed between December 10th to the 16th.
That's for the first 7 days. Yes.
Yeah, and only 13% got under contract within that 2 weeks between November 26th and December 9th. So things are a tad slower in Mason County.
But you kind of expect that in the winter months out of Mason County, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's a lot more seasonal in Mason
Right.
County. I think that's somewhere people go to visit, one, on holidays, but two, more in the summer to
Right.
recreate, right? To go
Right.
fishing and, boating and visit all the little, bays and lakes and, family that are out there and stuff. I think that's a little more seasonal, so more recreational. Skagit County, 2.4 months supply of inventory. Nobody set an offer review date there. That was smart. But I'll tell you what, 45% of those sellers that listed between December 10th and December 16th got under contract within 7 days. 45%. So Skagit County's got some activity. That's a big number for Skagit County, Dan.
Yeah, that's a hot number.
Yeah, and that's not the first time that's happened in Skagit County. Skagit County, their market is a little bit more of a roller coaster, and they get some really good activity sporadically. And again, it's a destination, right? Anacortes is a destination. I think Anacortes is the reason for a lot of that activity,
right,
in Mount Vernon. And there's some new construction in Mount Vernon as well.
Are the casinos in Skagit? Don't they have those nice
Yeah,
casinos?
there are casinos in Skagit, Dan. How do you know about those?
One night I was just walking around, and I found myself up at some casino, reservation casino, and it was very nice. I had a good dinner. Won a little money on the nickel slots. I can't complain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have stories about casinos. We won't talk about those. I want to get to my sparkles, though. Okay.
How about
so the last stat for Skagit County is 35% of sellers got into contract within the first 2 weeks on the market if they listed that weekend, that last part of that weekend of Thanksgiving, November 26th through December 9th. So that week, that couple of weeks span there was a little slower than that following week. That December 10th through 16th was just a hot week for most of the counties.
Right.
Not all of them.
And except for Mason, but it's pretty consistent across the board. You could really see that the 7 days from December 10th to December 16th, things really started picking up.
They did overall, yeah. And almost all those numbers were, better than or really close to the 2-week data from the 2 weeks before that. So the other one is Kitsap County. Kitsap County is 1.6 months supply of inventory. They've just kind of leveled off. I've watched them for the last few months, and they seem to be about the same all the time. So they have a Navy base there, so they do have an influx of personnel on a fairly regular basis. And I don't know if that's driving, they're kind of just keeping them right there where they're at for the fall, but that's where they're at. And 25% of sellers set offer review dates there. 27% got under contract within the first 7 days on the market if they listed between December 10th and December 16th. And 38% of sellers got under contract if they listed between November 26th and December 9th. So still a decent market. That would be what I would expect in December. That or even slower, less activity. So, they're still hanging in there, but it's been about the same for months now. Very even market. So, should we talk about the sparkly stuff first and then go into the investment? Because we have an investment property that we're going to share with you. It's not one that I would buy. So disappointingly, but I like to showcase ones that look interesting and that might pique someone's interest and maybe might want to pursue it. But a lot of times when I do present those, they're under contract by the time I get on the air. So it's a double-edged sword to that.
But not this one.
Not this one, guys. This one did not go under contract. I would bet you bottom booty that it's still on the market. It was this morning.
What is the reason reason for that, Kat. Why do you think it's still on the market, other than looking at it this
It's
morning?
overpriced, Dan. It just loses money no matter how you look at it.
It's a money loser.
It is a money loser, like across the board. There's no way to make this look pretty at $948,000. So can I talk about my sparklies?
Yes, let's talk about your sparklies. Absolutely.
Okay. So I'm going to show you something. Hold on here. I got to go get the rest of the stuff. Okay. So you know how it's been holiday time, right? So we've got like, we had Christmas a couple days ago, right? And well,
Yes.
my daughter sent me an Instagram post and she said, Mom, let's make a holiday drink, because I usually make a holiday drink and I just hadn't gotten around to looking one up and finding one. Well, she found this one it's got white cranberry juice and champagne. Now this is white wine because I don't have any champagne. We drank it. But this is what we did. We put a sprig of rosemary, and we put 4 real cranberries in there and floated those in there. And then I went to this bake shop in Linwood. I think it's Donna's Candy and Cakes. Anyway, it's right next to H&M, H Mart. Anyway, it's this tiny little shop, and they have edible glitter. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Can you see that? Am I showing? Do I not have that? Oh, I'm missing the screen.
Yep, there it is.
See that? Isn't that pretty? Anyway, so you get like the smallest amount. This is a chopstick. You get the smallest amount. You put it on the end of it, and you just swirl it in like that. And then you get all the little sparklies in there. Isn't that cool? So there's 2 different kinds. So there's the glitter kind, and then there's the really fine glitter kind, which if I can find the camera again here. Whoops, I'm too close. It's really super fine. See if you guys can see that. It's super fine. So you grab just a little bit of that on your chopstick or however you want to do it. And you can swirl that in there too. And see how it actually swirls down below. I don't know if you can see it, Dan.
I can't see it.
Move this over here.
Oh, there we go. Now I can see it.
It swirls around, and then it's got the little I don't know if you can see like the little glitter on the top, but anyway, it's delightful. Anyway, I just thought it was really fun. I should have a little taste of this.
Makes it much better.
Anyway, that's my sparkly for right now. I just wanted to tell you guys, I'm going to share. So these little containers, $5.
Really?
And you can, and they're completely edible. These happen to be gold. There's all different kinds of glitter. They're each $5, like $5.20. So you can go pick them up. You can get them in light pink. You can get them in dark pink. You can get them in white, silver, like every color of the rainbow. They've got so many different colors. I just thought it was really fun in a drink. And then we didn't try them on ice cream, but I thought, wouldn't it be pretty to have gold sparkles on vanilla ice cream? Anyway, that's my fun story, and I'm sticking to it. So that's my sparkly story, Dan. I just wanted to share sparkles.
It was, I think
all right.
That's a great find.
Well, I thought it was a good find because you know what? I didn't know we had a bake store. I didn't know there was a bake store here.
Yeah, next to
I didn't
H-Mart,
even know there was such a thing as a bake store. I didn't. It's for decorating cakes and cookies, but they've got all the different things to make all the decorations for cakes and cookies and cupcakes and things like that. I'm not a baker, so I would not know this thing. But anyway, there's other way, and candy, right? So while I was there, they were teaching a candy making class in the back. You can see a little right there. And then there was 3 of us up in the front. We were looking for specific things, so they came out to help us. And then they actually did a demonstration with those 2 types of glitter. She said, "Oh, which ones do you want to try?" And she's like, "Well, just go pick a couple out that you like." I was like, "Oh, okay." And we just opened them right there with the other women standing there. Everybody wanted to see it. What this demonstration was going to look like with this swirling glitter. I know it sounds silly, but it was a very fun little thing in my life this Christmas. And I have since had glitter in my drink every night since when I've had a drink.
Well, that's pretty cool.
So anyway, you find these cute little fun things, and they're very inexpensive. Sometimes it's fun to indulge. All right, that's my Christmas story.
There you
All
go.
Right. Okay, so we're talking about an investment property. It's 952 Highland Avenue in Bremerton. I know we shouldn't badmouth it because it's just went on the market. I maybe shouldn't have shared the address. Whoops.
That's okay. It needs all the help.
So this is the deal. Dan said, hey, here's the new one that came on the market. Why don't we try running the numbers on this one? It's a 5-plex. And I'm like, okay, let's run the numbers. Because at first glance, it kind of sounds okay. The payment, if you take in $948,000 and you're saying, I'm going to put 25% down, it's $230,000, right? And so you're financing $700 and some odd $1,000, and your payment is $5,217 is what your payment is. If so your down payment's $237.
You're putting $237 down for a 0% return. Is that correct?
It's bad. But can I run through the numbers? I know I'm going to disappoint you guys in the end, but it's a $948,000 property. It's got 5 units. They're rented at $1,125, $875, $1,350, $1,150, and $1,050 per month. And these are studios or 1-bedrooms. It's really right there on the beach in Bremerton. And it's not more than maybe 5 blocks from the ferry, from the Seattle ferry. So there's a fast foot ferry and then a car ferry that takes you into Seattle. So very cool location and right off the water. So it's going to be very moderate climate there. They also get $150 in income from the on-site laundry. So these stories, you guys, are not just about, is this one a good deal or not? You also will kind of help you figure out what are the things we're thinking about when we're looking at buying an investment property. Well, some of the things we're thinking about are what's the gross income for the rents, but we also need to know what's the additional income. And this one was interesting because it also had laundry, on-site laundry. So that gives you $150 a month multiplied times 12, right? For your annual. And the utilities paid by the tenants, this particular landlord is billing the tenants separately for the utilities. He's paying them all himself, but he's billing them out separately for a portion. And so what he's collecting per month from them is $320 a month. So he's getting that $150 plus that $320 a month. So all the income together gives him, a total annual gross income of $72,240. So that's all of those income sources combined. And so then what you want to look at is you want to look at the expenses, right, Dan? So you want to take the total gross income and you want to subtract out all the expenses, including vacancy. And so I figured vacancy at 5% because I think that's prudent. I don't think you should make it 1% or 0. You can. We do have a good.
Don't you normally want, I'm sorry to interrupt, I apologize, but wouldn't you want to also hire some sort of management company to take care of the property?
Yeah, and so most listing brokers do not include any type of property management in their calculations when they're figuring cap rate and things like this. I do. You have to, because in Washington State, you do not want to be your own landlord and property manager. It's not a good idea. It's too hard to keep up with all the new laws and how to do things appropriately because it seems to change every year right now. And I don't know about you, but it unnerves me, and I'm a realtor. And so I have my own property manager, and I recommend all my clients who invest in multifamily or investment properties do retain a property manager. I think it's very wise. You don't have to, but I think it's a very good idea. It's a nice insurance policy. Just put it that way. So you've got property taxes of just over $5,397 on this particular property. They're claiming property insurance of $1,800. Again, that's low to me. I don't buy that that's a very good insurance policy. You might want something better than that. Property management of 10%, so $66.60. So it's property management based on the rents received. So it's 10% of the total gross rents for the year. So that's how that's calculated. Now you're going to have additional property management if you have a vacancy. Most property managers over there, I believe in Brenton, charge you a half a month's rent to get that unit re-rented. But some of them do not. It's kind of property manager to property manager. I will tell you in Snohomish and King County, sometimes it's more like a month. So Anyway, so if you get a vacancy, that property management fee is going to go up, is what I'm trying to say. So
Right.
repairs and maintenance, they didn't have anything really for repairs and maintenance. I think they had $1,000 in there, $500, which was ridiculous. So I just put in as the default 2,400, $200 a month. That's not going to cover much on a 5-plex. So
Right.
water, sewer, garbage, they claimed $34.55 a year, and then other, which was electricity and gas, was $29.55. So we figured vacancy at 5%, so $3,330. And so we added all those up, and you subtract those from the total gross income, and you get your net operating income of $46,243. So it sounds pretty good at first, until you subtract out your annual debt service. And your annual debt service, so this is how much your total payments are for the year, which your payments are over $5,000, right? So your total payments for the year is $62,605. So you subtract that out and you end up with a negative at the end of the year of $16,362. So I ran this one, and I didn't print everything out because it was really so disappointing. But I ran this one, calculated capital, what your depreciation would be, figured out, ran it as if you were going to hold it for 4 years with a 3.5% appreciation for the next 4 years, and calculated what that selling price would be and what the selling cost would be. And the internal rate of return was negative.
Well,
which measures what internal, okay, so you probably want to know this. What does internal rate of return measure? It measures appreciation and cash flow. Right? So what your positive cash flow is for those 4 years, and what your appreciation is at the end of the 4 years.
Right.
And that was negative.
Oh, that's not good. That's not good.
You can't buy that one. None of you.
We have profitable suggestions as opposed to this particular one. But
we would like this one better, significantly less, maybe 100 to 150 less.
Right.
You can't buy this one owner occupied because it's 5 units, not 4. So there's no way to live in one of the units and try to purchase it that way. It won't qualify under the new FHA guidelines. It's FHA that allows that, right, Dan?
And conventional.
Okay, there you go. Conventional too, guys. So, hi. You want to come say hi? Here. Mr. Fat Tuesday. He wants a little bit of, he's already had his debut many times, but he's just a baby. Sometimes he wants to say hi. You can hi. Good boy. I know.
Hello there, MFT.
MFT for those who didn't know. I know. I know, baby. He's a good boy, Mr. Fat Tuesday. Hi. Did you say hi? Yeah. Look at those big paws. These are snowshoes. Mommy calls them snowshoes. I know. Good boy. Oh, baby. Anyway, but if anybody is interested in looking at potentially buying multifamily or investment properties, the rule of thumb is 20 to 25% down, usually 25. And then we try to see if we can get it to cash flow. And that's my job. And I have all the calculations to figure out if that's a good possibility that will happen. Of course, we don't have a crystal ball. We can't say that you're not going to have a major plumbing problem or something else happen along the way that winds up costing you some extra money. But, we can calculate that risk in there to a degree. So that's why you would have an inspection and things like that to try to offset some of those risks. But we can definitely make sure that it pencils up front, because you don't want to be out of pocket while you're waiting for this thing to appreciate, because we don't know what the market's going to do, right? So you want to make sure that it's cash flowing and that you're not actively losing money every year.
Well, I mean, if you're putting 25% down on an investment property, you kind of want to get some returns on the darn thing.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of money to put down on a loser.
I try to get, because you can stick your money into a CD or something and get 4 or 5%, right? So I figure that 4 or 5% is not adequate for an investment property. I feel like my investors should get between 6 and 8%.
Yeah.
So I shoot for that. And, we, try to calculate in what that looks like with their tax bracket and things like that as well, and see what that looks like. See if it improves at all. If it does, then we can, kind of take that into account, accountability.
Yeah,
take it into account. Yeah. So But
Well,
anyway,
we'll try to bring these properties every week out and or every other week or whatever, and some of
we'll
these
do
have
it
been
every week, Dan. I mean, we've
we'll do
been doing it. We just haven't. We missed a live or two. I think we missed 2 lives this last 4 weeks.
we've been in the Christmas spirit. What can you
Well, we
say?
got a little busy there. Kat had a little new construction project to work on. It took a little time.
And, and Dan,
Analyzing 5 plats, remember?
and Dan was a partial culprit for that problem. So anyway,
Yes, you were. You were a direct
I have to take
culprit.
a little bit of a blame on that one. So that's
Yes,
okay.
I like it. No, appreciated.
So
Yes.
but it was it's interesting. Anyway, we'll see what happens. It's interesting.
We'll see how it progresses.
We'll see how it progresses. Time will tell.
Yes.
So on that note, let's see here.
Oh, I have one more thing.
Oh, we just hit the 1 hour mark. Oh,
so it's perfect time. I can bring up one more thing, you guys. I don't know if you guys have seen a market analysis or not. Hi, I know a lot of this stuff is boring. If you're not interested in real estate, this is really probably not the venue for you, unless you were here when I talk about my sparkly stuff. Anyway, so this is a market analysis for a client of mine I just put together today. It's pretty thick.
Look at that.
70 something pages, I think. So It's pretty good size, picture of their house, in the front. And then I've got a couple extra pages in here I got to replace tomorrow. But I go into you get a little summary, and then I go into about 3 or 4 pages of actually writing about, you get an introduction, a little bit paragraph about the property. Then I break down the market. I do an market analysis. And then I talk about marketing features and challenges. So this is what I include in my market analysis for my sellers. And marketing features and challenges I've never seen in a market analysis. And I came across a property in Puyallup where I had to include that. And then even with the property that I'm analyzing up here in Everett for a couple that just called me this past week, there were some things I wanted to point out. That there's really some good features, right, that are going to help us sell it. And then there are the inherent problems with the property that are going to hurt us. So for the one in Puyallup, they only have 1.5 bathrooms, but they have 2 garages that are attached. One of the garages actually has a quarter bath. It has a toilet. So we're going to be able to add that quarter bath on there and make it 1 3/4 bath. But that 1.5 bath is why they only got shown one time when that other agent had it listed for 45 days. So they only had one showing, which is why they fired their other agent. So we're going to overcome that. It'll be a 1 3/4 bath because that's true. And so, but that is one thing that I discuss in this, marketing features and challenges. But some of the things that were good is that they'd redone all the flooring, just like my listing in Everett. So that's a positive, right? So you list that as one of the features that will help with the marketing. But anyway, I included that because sometimes there's power lines, sometimes they're on a busy street. In my client's case up here in Everett, they've got green and yellow on the outside of the house together. And
together again.
So I didn't put it in the challenges. What I did is in the suggestions, I said, under things to do, I just said, repaint the trim white. So I addressed that way. So I didn't put it as a challenge. Anyway, so then I go into a whole section on market trends, and that kind of goes through the data that I present to you guys every week, which is how many sellers are getting under contract within the first, 7 days or 14 days, how much the market has gone up this year, what it's doing right now. Is it slowing down? Is it picking up? Right now it's kind of picking up, which is very weird, end of December. And then I've got whole preparation recommendations. It's an entire page. And their house is in good shape. One of them is paint the yellow paint white. And then I've got a section for inspection under here. I always recommend sellers have inspections. There's very few cases where I wouldn't. There are a couple of exceptions. I have another paragraph on pricing.
I do have a quick question.
Sure.
With the green, and let's just say they go with your suggestion for the white trim. If they did it, what about the door? Because normally you go with the black door.
I recommended. I said, and optionally paint the front door black, because the black and the white and the green are going to look really nice together. Right now, the front door is red. It's actually kind of a cranberry.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with that, right? There's a lot of people that love red doors. There are. but statistically, you get more money if you paint your door black, because I think it appeals to more people in general.
Yes.
In general. And
But
then
when you say that, not that there's anything wrong, it reminds me of that old Seinfeld episode. Not that there's anything wrong with it. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted there. My
no,
bad.
it's okay. It's one of those things where, you know, they actually confronted me. I was walking through the house with them last Wednesday, and I don't think they see my videos. Hopefully they don't. Anyway, I was walking through their house last Wednesday, and they actually asked me point blank to my face halfway through my walkthrough, you know, 30 minutes into being there, what do you think of the paint? Is the paint going to help us sell? And I kind of stood there with a dumb look on my face for about a minute. And I said, well, I'm not going to ask you to repaint it. Now I'm asking them to repaint the trim because it should be done. Because paint color does hurt you. It does hurt you. It can hurt you on the outside. It can hurt you on the inside. Green is like you and I were talking about earlier today, Dan, green is already a color that can be challenging in the market, just in general, just because most people don't paint their homes green. There's a lot of colors of green that are not offensive. I don't think this particular color of green will stand out once it has white trim. I don't think it's going to stand out. I think it will go neutral. And I think with a black front door or a white front door, I think I'd rather see black just because it's kind of trendy still. And then a nice new front doorknob. Mm-hmm. They've replaced all the flooring inside with laminate. So they did that. But everything else is, they painted the walls essentially. It's more of a yellow than a cream. So a little stronger color than I would prefer, but it still reads quite neutral. So I'm not worried about that. And that's all fresh paint. But they do have different colored appliances. They've got a stainless steel dishwasher. They've got a white refrigerator. I can't remember what color the stove is. It might be black or black with stainless. But it was a mix, and it was built in the late 90s. So they've got laminate countertops with wood edging. And there is a little bit of damage, water damage to the cabinets over by the sink. So it does have some wear, and and it's 25 years, 26 years old, the house is. So they haven't done any updating. So the challenge for their particular house in that paragraph, that features and challenges, I did have in there, the challenge is the fact that they're the updating. That most of the homes have been updated and theirs has not had much updating. So I did put that, but I said in parentheses that can be mainly overcome by great staging. And that's true. So if they get the house really ready for market, and we, get the windows nice and shiny, and we get everything looking really great on the outside, the fact that it's a little dated, because it's really clean. You can't hardly tell they lived there. Like, it's like the door jambs, there's not a chip. Like, wow. The wood in the bathrooms, the only wood that's damaged is a little bit on the railing and then a tiny bit over by the kitchen sink. Everything else is like perfect. I swear to God. I mean, this house is like it's not been lived in, and it's got a big family in it. So for a lot of years, they've lived there since 2006 or 2003, I think. Yeah. So it's a great house. It's 2,300 square feet. It can be a 5-bedroom. It's got a lot of good square footage. It's got doors. Everywhere there should be a door, there's a door. So you can close off the whole downstairs. You can close off one of the bedrooms down there, or you can have another bedroom that's closed off that's now the bonus room, or it can be a bedroom because it's also got a closet and an outside door. So it's a very cool floor plan. So anyway, but yeah, that's that's how you put together market announcement. And the last thing you do is you put together a summary, and then you talk about the selling costs, which selling costs are typically 9%, in case any of you are wondering. So 9% includes 6% in commissions, or compensation, as we're calling it now. And compensation is split 3% to the buyer's agent and 3% to the listing agent. And then they split that with their office, their offices. And then there's roughly 1.78% excise tax, which is now actually a sliding scale. If you're 500,000 or less, I think it's 1.6. And if you're over like 1.5 million, it goes up again over 1.78. So there's a sliding scale.
That's rough.
Well, actually, it gets really rough. Once you get up to 3 million, I think it's 3 million is the next point. I think it gets up to like 3.5%. It's really a lot.
Ooh. That's a real.
Yeah, we'd have to look at those numbers, but yeah, excise tax changed a couple of years ago. Most people fall into the 1.78 bucket, and the first 500,000 on every property is taxed at the lower bracket, right? And then the next, so it's tiered, So then the next bracket is, I think it's 500 to 1.5. So that's taxed. I believe it's 1.78. Again, I'd have to look to be, to be sure. And then if 1.5, I think, to the next bracket is another step up. And then above 3.3 or 3.5, I think is the higher number, which is well over 3%. So yeah, once you get up there, but you're only paying that 1.78 up to that 1.5 million, right?
Right.
Because it's in tiers.
It's a marginal rate.
It's a marginal. Yeah, that's what you call that. So, it's a marginal rate, right? So anyway.
On that note, what do you think?
We can call it.
I think we can call it a day.
We can call it a day.
And I think you were fantastic.
Right. Bye, guys. Love you, TikTokers. Thanks for joining me. I don't see any questions. See you later.